you so much for joining us.
No doubt, no
Hi,
doubt.
B.
Glad to be here.
Thank
Ugh.
you so
Okay,
much.
so everybody's on.
Yes, we can go ahead and get started.
Let me share the live with my followers and stuff
Okay.
real quick.
Yes, as are we.
All right. And then share it with myself.
Oh, shit. Okay, 1 second.
All right,
You
sound is
good?
better now? Yeah.
Okay. Well, welcome to Sister Soul Sessions, where we elevate entrepreneurs one soulful conversation at a time. Tonight, we are honored to have Mr. Jason Daniels, the CEO and Chief Designer of GOATS LLC. Along with his team, he is redefining greatness by uplifting everyday heroes. Jason, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here for
All
sure.
right. I am your host, Amanda Armour, and I am joined by my two lovely sisters.
Hey guys, I'm Brittany.
I'm Brandy, everybody. Thank you
Amanda,
for coming.
Brittany, and Brandy. Nice to meet y'all.
Nice to
To
meet
meet
you. Thank you so much
you
for
as
joining us.
well.
So,
Okay, let's start by getting to know a little bit about your story. What inspired you to create GOATS LLC, and what are some of the early challenges you faced?
sure. So I actually didn't create goats. So I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. And I went to school in Virginia State University. You from Baltimore?
Yeah,
Where?
born and
What part?
raised.
What part you
I grew up in
from?
Randallstown.
Oh, where? I'm from over east, northeast, Perry Hall, like county-ish area, White Marsh, I guess if you know it. But yeah, so I went to school in Virginia State University, and my first semester I met this guy named Larry, and we called him Sticky because he looked like Sticky from the Proud Family. He used to wear the beanie and everything. He
I love
dressed just like him. Um, but we ended up becoming really close friends, and then we ended up becoming roommates. Then we ended up becoming frat brothers.
it.
So we're men of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated.
Hey.
And uh, as we were approaching graduation, I actually graduated a year before him. He brought this idea to me and some of my line brothers about like redefining what a goat is.
Mm,
So, if you really think about greatest of all time, is very it excludes a lot of people. And being Sigmas, we already believe in inclusivity and
yeah.
being inclusive of the community in general. So we wanted to, well, he wanted to really redefine what a goat meant, and he had faced some struggles as he was, matriculating through college, and we were all facing struggles as we were heading into our adult lives.
Yeah.
So he wanted to redefine goats to mean generations overcoming adversity through struggle. Because, when you think about the fact that we all have stories, we all have struggles that we've been through, and adversities, personal adversities that we have to face, we create this really great story and a testimony of
Yeah.
overcoming, of growth through that needs to be shared. And if you think about it, that if you look at it that way, the fact that you overcome your own personal adversity, that's what makes you the GOAT. So we wanted to really redefine it in a way where everyone could be the GOAT. So that Ghost was born in Petersburg, Virginia, and we kicked it off at homecoming, and it was cool.
Amazing.
Um, but we had trouble, I think, defining what our mission was, what our vision was, what our goals were, and I think that was probably our first major blocker. Our first big support, like when it came in a wave, people were supporting us because it looked good and it was cool. We were
Right.
doing
Something
something.
new.
People,
Yeah.
but eventually, like the support stopped,
Mm,
and we around like 2021, um, Larry, his father got sick, and we kind of like took a break from the brand as us as founders. We didn't. It's four of us, so four brains on one thing it can get tumultuous, I guess. So we kind of took a break from it as we redefined what it meant,
yeah. What
and we
the
started to
brand
kind of
was.
branch out into other things. So one of our founders throws really cool brunches in like the 757 area. So he kind of branched off into doing ghost entertainment. And at one point, we had one of our founders had a recording studio, but now he does like music, artist consulting, and so our goal essentially is to build a brand around goats that's all about empowering the community in a multifaceted way. And so our mission is to inspire everyday people to have the confidence to overcome their personal adversities. So like same way you put on, Nike and I can just do it. When you put
Yeah,
on goats, you know that I have the strength to overcome anything. So
I love that.
and our vision is to empower the future. And how do you do that? So in my mind, the future is children. And so it's the next generation. We're thinking about generations of people who's going to build the world that we want to live in. So I feel like it's very important to empower children to have the resources to overcome their personal struggles and their personal adversities. So we kind of cultivated this vision around empowering the future, and then we're putting action behind it by being, kind of redefining ourselves as a community serving streetwear brand and donating 5% of all of our
Oh, wow.
proceeds to fighting childhood poverty in the U.S. So, by really like defining the mission and of inspiring people to be confident, to overcome their struggles, to keep going, and being able to highlight struggles that we, not only us as Black people, but communities, struggles that communities face across the world.
Hmm.
It creates a sense of, I think, collectiveness, and it allows, I think, the brand to speak to the struggles that we all overcome and the fact that we're all goats on the inside. So that's why I'm real passionate about it.
Yes.
Um, I would say that, when the brand fell off and I kind of reinvigorated it out of a need for, like, I guess, self absolution. I lost my job and I had a business and the business started to fail and started to slip into a real deep depression. So I was just praying and I was looking for something that would allow me to be a better kind of focus, I guess.
Yeah.
So I started like designing shirts and stuff, and that's not anything I ever done before, but it worked out. And when I saw people started to like it, I was like, all right, I think I can sell this stuff. So that's kind of how we got back at it. And I think it's been about a year and a half since we got back at it, and it's been really good ever since. So just trying to grow it and excited to be here for sure.
That's amazing. No, thank you so much for sharing. I love your story and that it's the four of you and how you guys have also made that, an extended brand. So like you carried that to everything, like everyone's still goats, but goats everything.
Exactly.
So like really, really
Well,
overcoming like so many
if you
things
ever want to
that
know what a goat look like, you're looking
You
at it.
feel me?
No.
You feel
so
me?
yeah, that's why you got to wear the brand. I love it. Yes. No, and that's how,
Yeah.
and I know that's how everyone's feeling. No, I saw the photos and everything that you're posting. The content's great, and I'm like, no, that's really the feeling that you're, exuding with everybody. So
Yeah.
I love the brand.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Appreciate
Yes,
that.
it's
Thank you.
beautiful. And with that, and it being four of you guys, and everyone having their own endeavors, how do you guys, come together? Like, how are those creative juices, still flowing with everyone, so pulled everywhere?
Hmm.
With you being CEO, you even within the business wear multiple hats, how do you guys maintain and keep those, things going?
It's a great question. I think that we're still looking to figure out that balance. I think that we hit a wall where we were all trying to discover like what our value was within the business,
Yeah.
and um, I think in entrepreneurial pursuits, it's okay to have like a realistic conversation with yourself and determine like where your talents can be best suited.
Hmm.
So I think like the partner that's doing the events, he has his own team. So that's although it's goats, it's still kind of their thing.
Yeah, right.
So I feel like with the merchandise and what we're trying to do here, I'm still wearing a lot of the hats because I just haven't gotten to the point where I've built that team yet, and I'm still trying to like relinquish some control, even to my other partners, because it's like
Okay, yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I rebirthed this thing. Like, yeah, we're all equal partners, but like, no, I really want to hand it over.
Do I
But
trust you to do this next part that I would, yeah, I've been
yeah,
focused on
exactly,
doing. Yeah.
exactly. And it's like, would you trust me to throw a brunch or to
Hmm.
like,
Hmm.
the Sticky? He is very passionate about social work, and mentoring kids in kind of like unfortunate situations and adults with mental health issues, to the point where he's very passionate about even wanting to start a group home. So everything is really tied in together with us being passionate about wanting to create safe spaces for conversations, bring awareness to different issues, and then also just spread stories of triumphance of overcoming. It's something that I think that I really want to get to, like sharing stories of everyday people and
Yeah.
and the things that they've been through and how they've overcome. I think that that is just so powerful. Like, we spend so much time thinking about celebrities or politicians, people in the news, people that don't actually get impacted by what we go through as people in a day to day. So
Right.
when I get to go out and tell people the mission of goats and the meaning, and they tell me their stories about things that they've overcome, and they just immediately start sharing their testimony, that's how I know that it's something real. Because yeah, I don't know, people just feel it, they just open up
Yeah.
immediately. I don't know if it's because I'm a genuine person, or or if it's a genuine mission. I think it's both.
Yeah.
So I want to spread that mission to a lot of people, because if we can really create transparency, I think a lot of people suffer in silence. I know that I do. So a lot of goats is me putting my own pain into creation,
Mhm.
and allowing uh, people to feel heard, I guess, or feel seen through the struggle.
That's why I always say you survived 100% of the, you know, trials that came against you every day. So like
Exactly.
when you think
Survive the
about your grade book in life, like I was telling my brother this other day, I'm like, why you keep putting all this bad stuff on yourself? When you look at your grade book, you have an A in everything. You're still here. Every time something came against you, tried to kill you, tried to make you feel like you just couldn't finish something or whatever, like you did it. You're still here. So, like that's why I love like yeah, you're a goat in your own life and everything,
Yeah.
because what tried to take me out may not have tried to take you out, but like I beat it, and only I can understand that. And it's a big mission. And I love that all of you guys have a piece of it that really like pushes it forward.
Mhm.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Even the social
right.
work, the kids home, like I could see, like I was going through my head like, oh yeah, I could see. And then when you open that, and that's where the merch would be, and then kids are wearing, like, you know what I mean?
You
Like,
see
no, it all makes
it,
sense.
it all
Yeah, so
connects.
yeah,
It's
so
a,
that's
it's a, and
beautiful.
then that extends into real estate and scholarships and grants and a nonprofit, and it's just like it's a huge mission that I have to remember that Rome wasn't built in a day,
Hmm.
and just because we started in 2018 doesn't mean like it should be anything huge right now. God is gonna work in mysterious ways, and things are gonna happen when they're supposed to happen. So
Yeah.
I'm
Amen to
trying. I'm
that.
trying to accept like the inevitability of I can't control none of this.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
You
Like,
just have to
so
follow and be obedient, right? Like, yeah.
I'm trying.
Amen to that.
I'm
Right.
trying
So
my
you're
best.
doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're doing it. Yeah.
Well, congratulations to you. You are
Thank
doing
you.
it.
Thank you. Thank you.
What has been one of the biggest challenges you face as a team, and how did you overcome it together?
Mm, I think the biggest challenge that we've faced as a team is the fact that we are brothers first.
Mm.
You know, people say like don't do business with friends and family. So there's come times where there's been so much tension, that we would didn't talk for a couple months, and we've had to really, what we call it is like leaning on the shield, like leaning on our brotherhood and being able to talk in a transparent way, be understanding, like apply a lot of emotional intelligence. I'll say like
Yeah.
I was the youngest person on my line, so two of my partners are like 4 years older than me, so they have a bit of emotional intelligence and conversations where I came in like really passionate and frustrated, and they were just like, "You seem frustrated, bro. Like, what's up?"
Let's talk
And
this out. Yeah.
I'm like, "Hell yeah, I'm frustrated." Like, what? So I mean, just that brotherhood, I think, being able to have that, I think that has helped us keep going forward. and also understand that it's okay for each of us to play a specific part.
Yeah.
I think at one
Yeah.
point everybody was trying to do everything, and you're best suited where your talents are. So understanding that, I feel like, was really important.
Okay.
It's helpful. As we are, doing this with our Sister Soul sessions, we always, come to it and it's like, yeah, it's three different personalities, three different thought
That's a
processes
lot.
of what we should do,
Right.
how,
And they
like, no,
always
I don't
say
like
women
that.
don't get along,
But
women
yeah.
can't work together, but it can be done.
Mhm.
Like you said, just knowing your position, knowing your role,
And
and
emotional
sisterhood.
intelligence.
Y'all doing it right now.
Oh
How many
yeah,
how many episodes have you had?
Well, this
It's
is season 3.
Wow.
episode 8, season 3, episode 8.
Yep.
We have about 25 episodes in the first 2 seasons.
That's phenomenal.
Thank
I
you.
had a podcast with my wife at one point, so I understand like the
Yeah.
commitment that it takes. For sure.
And we do it
Yeah,
every
because
week.
sometimes they get the text in and I be like, I'm going to leave that to y'all, but I did read that message. I'm going to follow up on it after you all figure it out or post it. Like,
And where are you from?
I'm from Tennessee.
Yeah, you hear that
Tennessee.
accent.
I heard the South. Yeah. And what about you? Where you from?
I'm from California. Yeah.
Cali, Baltimore, and Tennessee. That's what's up. So how did you guys bring this together? Like, we met at
You're not
school.
supposed to be
How
interviewing
did you
us. I'm
guys
just
meet?
kidding.
I'm just
No, I'm just kidding. No, so this is our story is kind of funny. This is my birth sister.
okay.
We share the same mom, and she just didn't take care, or I don't know, how do I say that? Sorry, I was about to say it all crazy. She didn't have.
Yes, so this is my sister. We wasn't raised together. We
That's
was
what you
raised by
say.
our fathers. We met 13 years ago.
Okay.
And then we've been locked in ever since,
Yeah.
trying to build our relationship and learn one another, leaning on each other for emotional support, financial support. She's like the friend I never had. And then one day she was like, we got to tell our story. We're going to do a podcast. We're going to do this. And of course, that's my big sister. So I feel like she's the GOAT. She's my shero. So whatever she want to do, I'm going to do.
You gotta follow Big Sis for sure.
And I've known B for about the same amount of time, shoot now.
Yes.
13
Yeah.
years before our kids, our youngest were born. We were both married and stuck in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yes.
Albuquerque. Okay.
Yes. So we would develop a very strong sisterhood.
Yes.
Bet.
And just been that ever since. And we started the podcast and I was like, there's no one better than to join us and for real been a sister than B. So it's been great.
You guys have a great synergy, I can tell. So that's what's up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right. And then B became my plus sister.
Right.
I'm the bonus sister.
For real.
Ain't that the best?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest. And I'm always the middle child. I just get it every time, so it doesn't matter.
I love it.
So yes, I am the voice of reason, middle child.
Gotcha.
But we've been doing this thing for over a year now.
Yep.
And so completely understand what you were saying. That's why I was like, oh yeah, you're talking right to kind of what we were discussing and what we need to do to even push ourselves to that next level of doing this. It's already difficult doing it every week, but what is the mission for it? And I think it was great that you said that you had to kind of go back and revisit that and say like, okay, what are we really trying to do? And then like, what does that look like to us? And then, implementing that. So your creative process really helps. Like when you're going through, I'm like, okay, well, these are always just for me, guys. I don't know who else gets anything out of them, but so thank you for sharing that, especially with, you having it with your line brothers. I know that connection is so different. Like, so like, can you share, I love when, we get someone, yes, being a middle child is tough. Can you share a little bit more on that and that meaning of brotherhood and like what that really means for the brand? Because I want people to understand that. And like, I feel like, especially with the HBCUs and kind of dying off, honestly, and what they're doing to them now, I want you to like really push on that and the community of that and what that meant for your brand.
So I'm a legacy. So my father, he became a Sigma in like 1987. So all of my uncles and adopted uncles are singers.
Yeah.
Uh, but that I don't think that was quite the reason I wanted to join. Like it was a good incentive,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I think I've always been drawn to like building something. So when I got to Virginia State in 2014, there were no signals. They were like on a 7-year hiatus
Ooh.
because of a hazing incident.
Oh,
Um, and so we had Kappas and we had Qs and Iotas.
Yeah, of course.
Uh,
Yeah.
the Kappas and Qs ran the yard, and I don't know. I was drawn to the opportunity to do something better, and like not better as an organization, but better as in like building something that wasn't there. So I was, like I said, I was the youngest person on the first line. We were a resurrection line. There were 11 of us, and um, when we came out, we faced like such great adversity. It it's hard to
Imagine.
explain.
Yeah.
Like it I um like my our first day out, I remember getting challenged by some other organizations to stroll, and we
oh,
had no pro fights. We didn't know how to stroll, but we had to do it anyway. So we got out there and embarrassed ourselves.
No.
So like, but we like because like they challenged us.
mhm.
But that's a
It's
great
amazing though
PG
that you
example.
still did it. Yeah.
So like that's just. But then you know from that incident, that adversity, right? I've never been a dancer.
I don't mean to
Promise you, I
laugh.
ain't never.
I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I ain't never been a dancer, bro. They turned me into a stroll master. You ain't never gonna play me again. I
Yeah.
promise you.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Listen,
love that.
my chapter
Goat status,
it's
right?
it's 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 that adversity, it's
Yeah.
that struggle. You have
Hmm.
to overcome it. It makes
Hmm.
you better. There's no progress without struggle. I believe that
Yeah.
was Frederick Douglass, right? Whatever.
I have to
The
look at
quote still stands.
Right.
There's no
We know what you
progress
mean.
without struggle. Like so we started practicing a lot. We got really good at stepping, and then our chapter went undefeated from
So you had a literal stomp the yard like moment in your life.
like they played us on the yard, and then like we we got to practicing
That's
and stuff.
awesome.
And then I remember walking into the step show at the end of the semester, and like we walked past a bunch of another organization, and I just remember they saying like, yeah, everybody here playing like they playing for second place, playing for second place. I'm like, all right. And this is the craziest thing. So they went before us, and they did a step that was eerily similar to something that we were gonna
Oh, a
do, and
literal.
that kind of like
Okay.
Mm.
shook us
Amazing.
up. But like that was just another adversity that we had to overcome.
That's
So we ended
beautiful.
up winning that step show, and then we ended up going on to win like every step show and stroll off for like the next. That was 2016, and we're in 2024 now. So I think 2024 was the first time we lost. So like, what's that? Eight
Wow.
years.
Okay.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. And you got to start that. That's
And
crazy.
in 2020, we became the largest undergraduate chapter in the world.
Wow.
And my little brother crossed on that line.
Oh,
So like,
congratulations. That's beautiful. Yeah, you started a legacy. Like you said, you wanted to build something
yeah.
big.
So building like when you join a brotherhood, it's deeper because you're joining something bigger. But when you build something like that adversity of like facing people that were older than us, people that were more experienced, people that had pro fights to back them up, to teach them things, to teach them lessons, and
Yeah.
we had to be our own big brothers. You know, um, I think that that really brought us very close. Like we learn, we know how to argue it and get over it. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh yeah.
so I think that probably translated into the business a little bit. Like we
Oh,
were
yeah.
able to get over because like at the end of the day, we still brothers. Like we're all going to Houston for one of our brothers' bachelor party. He's getting married next month.
Oh,
So we're gonna be in Houston
that's amazing.
next week, and I'm just really excited to like fellowship and just be with everybody because we all live. Well, they all live on the East Coast. I moved to Texas, So it's been like over a year since I've seen any of them. So
I'm
just kind of.
also in Texas.
You moved to Texas?
Yeah, I'm in San Antonio.
San Antonio. That's what's up. I'm in Dallas.
Peace.
That's crazy.
So the distance is another thing. So I think really being able to lean on that brotherhood, and the things that we've been through together. Um, there is there's a quote I heard once, and it was like, "Common pain, common struggle will bring people closer together than common joy." So like, if you have a pleasurable experience with someone, like that's gonna be good. But if you overcome something that's stressful or
Yeah, you
painful
never
with
forget
someone,
that. Yeah.
Right.
you never forget it. So I think that allows us to be resistant in adversity that we have in our relationship and in our business relationship.
Mm, well said. Beautiful.
You know,
Thank you for sharing that. It's actually
so it's nice to think about it that way. Actually, I love them guys, man.
Yeah.
I love them.
You don't think about it when you're just going through the everyday things and having to speak to them about something, that's important today or whatever,
Yeah, just
like,
working.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
Right.
get it.
I always have to do that with them and like remind them of how amazing they are to me because I'm just like, you guys are always just hearing me just barking orders at you. Like, let me remind you of like how amazing it is to have the experience with you and build this with you and do all the things because it is like that's the fun to me,
It
even,
is part of
I
the
wasn't
fun.
gonna say nothing, but
shut
yeah,
up.
she brought a lot of orders.
Who the boss?
Apparently me.
It's always the
I
middle
don't work.
child. It's always the
Listen,
middle child. I don't know what it is.
because they just have their own lives, like that's why in the middle you got like you said, you got to pull them
Y'all
together.
just don't care.
They don't.
Yeah,
No, because they
yeah.
just
See,
go
what
their
we
lives.
didn't add on is that we work full time. We are full time parents on top of our own businesses that we run, and then we just be pull here, pull there, and then she be the one. Look, I said.
Because
We be like, okay.
That's good though. You need, especially when life is that hectic. When life
yes,
So, but
I
she
do
that
all of
keeps us
hectic,
those
on
things.
our toes, though. She keeps us on our toes, keeps us busy,
yeah.
motivated for sure.
Mm, that's good.
That's
Hmm.
important.
So what you got for me? What questions? I know you got more.
Oh yeah.
So I was going to
What's
ask, what are some
up?
of the biggest milestones that pretty much that you're really proud of? So we've heard about the adversity and the things that trials and tribulations. So we want to know what are some milestones that you're proud of concerning GOAT.
Right. Um, so after we restarted the brand, me and Sticky, we're the ones that really focused on the merch. We decided that it was important for us to really invest in knowledge. So like in business, you can either go alone and it's going to take you a long time, or you can go together and you get there quicker. And business is, the game is to be sold, not told. So we paid for, have y'all ever heard of World Envision?
Yes.
So World Envision is a large, they're a large clothing brand out of Louisiana. And they have a program that teaches other brands how to grow your influence, how to get
Okay.
customers, and it's an all-encompassing thing. So we decided to pay for this mentorship, and we got in this group, and it really like expanded our minds, and it grew the way that we thought. It created new, I like to say, like new neural pathways, like new
Mm,
ways of thinking around things. So we learned that like selling in person is really the way to go. You know what I'm saying? Like if y'all ever got together and did an in-person podcast, do it.
I know.
Just
We need
cause
It's
to.
it,
on our list.
you know what I'm saying? It's going to pop.
Yeah.
So we decided, because I'm in Dallas, Texas, and Sticky, he's in he in a little country town called Hurt, Virginia. Uh, yeah, I know. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I ain't gonna laugh too hard though, because my people's from a town like that too. But
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Hurt is one of them little country towns that don't got stoplights.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
oh
With
yeah, yeah.
street
Okay, I've been
names,
in those
like
little towns. Yeah.
one of them where everybody knows each other. Like
Hmm.
he one of them guys where like half of the state is his cousin.
Mm.
So like
Mhm.
it's funny. But so we decided to take a two-pronged approach on Juneteenth. We had just dropped this really cool Juneteenth shirt, and we both did we did Juneteenth festivals in Virginia, Danville, Virginia, and in Dallas, Texas simultaneously. And I think we made like $2,000 in one day, which was more than we made in like 4 years.
Yeah,
So like that was a huge accomplishment for us because it was proof that like it can happen. It can
yeah,
happen.
for sure.
So, but then lessons come. I've had pop-up shops where I've made $0.
Right.
So it's
It,
about balance and but also keeping like belief in your mission and remembering why you started. Like one day you guys will have a podcast that has 100,000 people watching, but can't get discouraged when the four of us make up the whole
the
thing.
but
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because
Right.
somebody is still gonna watch.
Hmm.
It's still gonna
Right.
be valuable to somebody. People been popping in and commenting like, if it doesn't matter if five people came and listened to me speak, I'd still be elated because that's we I think social media is really skewed like
It
the
is.
value of
Yeah, it
things.
is.
You know,
Mhm.
so I
And the
just
value of what people spend their time on.
Mhm.
And it's like,
exactly.
you know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I always say. Like when people are coming in here and we have people like that will stay the whole hour, and I'm just like, wow, that's amazing. Because the attention span now
You spend a
with social
whole
media
hour with me. Like that's when people
is
buy
like
a
that's
shirt.
crazy. Yeah.
I'm so I give people freebies all the
Hmm.
time. I'm like, you didn't have to shop with
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's amazing.
Hmm.
Especially like when people shop with me at pop up shops, I usually like I'll throw them something free or there's been times where I didn't have something that somebody wanted and they went and bought something off the website like right in front of me. So
Right.
I'll throw something extra in the package because like one, you're creating that customer loyalty.
Mhm.
Excuse me, and then two, you're giving them something special. I like to tell people there to go. Sometimes I'll put handwritten notes in
I love
packages.
that.
Just I think being a small company allows you to just take a little bit of that extra step. Um, one day we might not be able to do that, but right now I know that I can. So like, why not put in the effort like while it matters? You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Well, with that, because so I always love that approach. I love, we all have businesses. I own a couple of things where we're at pop-up shops, we do things like that. Do you find it difficult to kind of turn off that, like, oh, I just want people to enjoy it and experience it, and you give away things? Like, how difficult is it for you to turn on that straight business like mindset and remember that you have a quota, or you have
Mm.
something you have to reach, you have other business partners that you have to pay attention to? Because I always find that like that's where my business partner and I always clash, where he gives away so much stuff like, and I'm just like,
Does he?
yeah, oh my gosh, every time we're anywhere I'm just like, yeah, but they would pay for it, like, so like, and it's just because you have that love, right? He's the one that actually makes it and creates it, so he has a different mindset
Ah,
on it.
okay.
Yeah, it's a
So
different
the
love for it.
creator, the
Mm-hmm.
creator always just wants people to experience it, right?
Mm.
He brought me in, and you have a person that comes in and like, I'm the brain, I'm not the heart, so I'm going to stop all of the additional things. So how do you, balance that within yourself? You're the creator and CEO, so you're playing a lot of the hats in that, and how are you balancing that?
I'm a hustler. You feel me? So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give somebody something free unless they've like this guy. He was a photographer. He he got some free photos of me, which I can use for branding. He got some photos
Right.
of me and my wife. That was nice. He got some photos of some other people that were wearing ghost stuff. That's all content for me. I gave him a free shirt. Now there was a girl that got up on stage that would pop up, and she like blew the house away. She was singing. I just had to give her a shirt.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if you wear it on stage, I know
Yeah.
that you impacted me
True.
in a way.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna impact somebody else in a way. So if you wearing goats when you do that, they're gonna remember it. But other times, like I'm not giving away things that are free unless someone buys something. Like
Hmm.
someone buys a shirt, I might give you a free hat to go along with it, cause like that is. But I'm not just like, hey, take a free hat,
Well, it's just
cause
because
that.
it's difficult with the social media, right? Because it's like you said, to get the promo, to get certain things, like it is a lot of times, and pertaining to the business model and things like that, it is a lot of the, okay, some are the things you have to do, it's just promo, right? So I am
Mm-hmm.
giving away this amount, or yeah, I do realize I want this person to wear it. So what are you offering for them to give it? Like, like where is that in your business model and mindset? Because I always see that that's different for everyone who, especially for like clothing brands and things like that.
I think I need some type of return, and
Yeah.
when I first got back at it, I was really big into sending people a lot of things, but
Okay.
then um, I started to realize it wasn't translating into sales or conversions for my business.
Hmm.
So yeah, I got influencers and the stuff, but it's not really,
Yeah, that's
translating
that
to
like hard
business. So
thing. Yeah.
there's personally, I like foot soldiers. Like
Okay.
my wife's grandma, she be wearing this shirt that we haven't even dropped.
Yeah.
Everybody like, yo, where I get that?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
got her calling me, asking me to drop it early, and I'm like, this is a grandma.
That's
You
amazing.
know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? So I don't put
Yeah.
it on my LBs. I don't put it on other people influencers. So I'm like walking billboards, but that's value that I'm
Yeah.
receiving.
Yeah.
I'm not just
Hmm.
giving away stuff for free. And I think that as entrepreneurs, we want to give, especially as creators, we want to give things out for free because we value it so much. But if you value something, it should be
Put a
worth something.
dollar amount.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm
It's hard.
saying? So
Yeah.
I'm only giving away something free if I deem it that if I can see some type of return.
Yeah.
Like the last shirt I gave away for free, I met a girl that happened to be my girl's cousin and my wife's cousin, and she was an influencer and a model, and I gave her a free shirt on the spot, and we did a photo shoot on the
Yeah.
spot. So I got value out of that immediately. So like, if not, she would have had to buy it. So that's kind of like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's my
Well, that's
mindset
good. Yeah,
around it.
so you made like a boundary, like realizing after you got started, like, hold on, yeah, we do have to have
Well,
some type of
yeah, like
reciprocation. Yeah.
I was, I was in a room with a bunch of family we hadn't seen in a while. I had
Hmm.
my bucket full of merch.
Especially that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and people were just, family was they were buying it, buying a shirt
Hmm.
here, buying a hat. Y'all gotta buy it. But I gave it to her because she gave me an exchange of
That
value.
value. Yeah.
And then,
Hmm.
I always talk about how I think that exchange of value and kind of that barter system is one of the godliest things that exist
Hmm.
in
Yeah.
entrepreneurship. If we go back to like the beginning of mankind, there was no capitalism. It was really just I have something, you have something, I have value to exchange with you.
Yes.
And I think that being able to exchange value with each other, that creates community. That's important. That's the
Well,
first thing
that's
you
part of
can do.
networking. Yes.
And it's networking. And
Networking.
it's,
Hmm.
we need to, as a black community, speaking of specifically, we can, keep our dollars within our community. That's very powerful. And that's
Yeah.
why I love going to like, black owned pop ups because, man, like a lady will come over and buy a shirt from me for like $20. And then I'm going to go and spend that 20 back with her, buy a candle.
Yeah.
Cause I
I
love
love.
candles,
Yeah.
and so it's
Yeah.
just like it's circulated within our own community. I feel like that's really important for uplifting. No one's gonna do it. We already have so many forces against us. But
Hear
a
that.
common misconception is that goats is like for black people. Nah, ghosts is for all people. I just happen to
Yeah.
be black, so that's just what I'm
Hmm.
passionate about. But I could speak to issues um, that affect us all, which is something I actually wanted to bring up. So I made the lights purple because September is
Yeah. Gotcha.
Suicide Awareness Month, Suicide Awareness and Prevention Month. So, which is actually something that's been like pretty close to my heart because in this journey of like unemployment that I've been on, like my mental health has been super bad. So it was the first time in my life, and like I was saying, I started designing to kind of get myself out of it. But I faced like suicidal ideation and really bad thoughts for the first time, imposter syndrome, feeling like, all the schooling I did and all the
Yeah.
time I
Wasn't
spent in
worth it.
corporate just wasn't worth it. Like I
Mm.
just was feeling worthless. So I think with this month is super important. And I didn't notice September was Suicide Awareness Month, and I guess it never stood out to me because it wasn't something that affected me
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah.
But and my birthday is in September, so I think that this is something powerful because I'm forcing myself to think about it in a positive light and bringing awareness
And what it's
to
brought
other
you
people.
to.
And as I've shared it, people did like sharing their own stories and sharing positive feedback to people and just telling people to keep going. And it's doing what the purpose of goats is creating that transparency and that conversation around the struggle. Like suicide is the number 11 leading cause of death in the US.
Mm,
Like I had no idea, you know, like we're in pain. So
yeah.
I think if we can just tell somebody like you're loved, you're worthy, you matter, I
Hmm.
care about you,
I'm
um,
thinking of you, like
thinking about
all
you,
of those.
you know. So and so that's just one thing that's really aligned with what we've been doing. We've done Mental Health Awareness Month, um, Juneteenth, and we're just continuing to try to bring forward stories about things that we struggle with as a people, and not just be
Especially in our
another brand.
community. Yeah.
Oh man, you know how much of a taboo mental health is in the Black
Mm.
community. So,
Always swept under the rug.
oh, he crazy.
Did you feel like double adversity, especially speaking about that? And thank you so much for sharing that because as someone has experienced that, had the struggle, went through medications, things like that, I completely understand even sharing that being something, near and dear and kind of, hard to share. So I do truly appreciate that. And with that, I just wonder, do you feel double scrutiny being, a black man in your community, having line brothers, growing up how you did, like you said, it's always been like, oh, I face it like this. I face my adversity, like you said, they tried to punk you kind of, when you're on the yard, things like that. With that always being how you face things, was there double scrutiny for you to, actually talk about mental health in a way that,
Mm.
maybe looks like therapy, looks like something different?
I don't think I received scrutiny. I just wish that somebody else would have done it first.
Mm,
Uh, 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 I think May was Men's Mental Health Awareness Month,
yeah.
and I just put out a video talking about my own story, how I lost my job, and how my successful business just went upside down out of nowhere, and how I faced imposter syndrome and suicidal ideation and depression, and how prayer was powerful to try to get me through that, and action and trying to find something. So I don't know. I've been my own worst enemy. Like, there's nothing anybody could like really say to hurt me.
That
To
would
like,
make you, yeah,
not
that you would
Right.
have noticed,
not
that you
about
would
my
even
mental,
noticed. Yeah.
because I'm the things that I've said to myself.
Mm,
I told myself I didn't want to be here. Like, there's nothing you can say to me that's worse than that. My life is so valuable, you
yes.
know. So I think that, and I was a little nervous to share that because as men, especially as black men, like that could be like perceived as a sign of weakness.
Right.
But first of all, my wife is so supportive, and we have such great communication in terms of like mental health and stuff. I've never felt like I needed to hide my mental
It's
health,
amazing. Yeah.
So, and neither does she. Um, and I think I've gotten to a point where a lot of my bros, like a lot of dudes I talk to, are just so closed in. I'm that dude that like cracks them open. Like, I'll be like, so how's life? Like, don't lie to me. Like, don't cap. Like, let's talk
Yeah.
about the real stuff. I've had some real conversations, like with people that you would just never expect to have real conversations with, and I think that those are the most healing ones. The most painful conversations. Because to know that somebody cares, if someone just wants to listen, um, sometimes that's all I want. So
And it's
I
it's so
think
simple, yeah, but yeah, the meaning, like
it's
what you
really
get out
it's
of it, the
it's
value,
very
like you said,
simple.
it's the value of it, like you keep saying.
The value.
Hmm.
So I don't feel scrutinized for sharing. I feel like it's part of my journey and it's part of my purpose. When I posted that story, people were just it was mostly men. A lot of women were like praying for you. Thank you for sharing this testimony. But men were like, bro, thank you. I needed to hear this.
Mm,
I did my job.
that's amazing. Yeah, for sure.
So If somebody hating, fuck them.
Save a life, honestly.
I,
No, for real. You
maybe,
probably saved many lives.
maybe, and through this journey, I've saved my own life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I'm so
Yeah, 'cause a lot of
passionate
men
about it.
are afraid of opening up. They
Yeah.
shelter everything in. They hide their feelings. You know, they lash out and do other things to, you know, help heal their hurt instead of just talking about it. Nobody, you know, pays attention to a black man and be like, "Are you okay? Did you eat today? What's on your mind? You want to talk?" You know, but they, you know, it's a lot. So thank you again.
We have this misconception that we're only valuable based on what we do and what we produce.
Hmm.
And
Right,
Yeah.
right,
I'll even fall into that sometimes. Like my wife would be like, "Oh, I need you to do this." I'm like, "Damn, I'm only valuable based on what I produce." But that's not the truth.
right,
Like
right.
we are
Like you
valued.
just expected to be strong. You don't have no worries. You have to carry all these burdens. You the man of the house. So you can't be down. You can't miss work. You can't lay around just be in your feelings because you are a man, Damon.
Right. Sounds
So
about right.
just put so much, you know what I'm saying, on a black man. So yeah, I feel
and
you on it.
you know, suicide rates are highest amongst men.
Yeah.
Mental and of the people that do get diagnosed or go to try to get help for mental health, it's highly slanted towards women. Women are just way more emotionally intelligent, and we're just taught to like yo, thug it out. Like it is what it
Right,
is.
right. Toughen up.
Exactly.
Well, and that's why I love what you created, and especially with your brothers, because like you said, women have more of that emotional intelligence, mainly because we have that communal, um, you
Yeah.
know, just upbringing and thought process. So, you creating that and seeing that that's, the gap, and keeping that together despite any adversities. Because, like you
Hmm.
said, everyone's, everything comes into it. So working past that, I think, is the true testament of what Black men can do and what your brand does and what you're showing everybody, you know, despite all of the other things that we're doing, away from each other, despite the adversity that we have with each other and the world, like we're still building four brothers together, and that's amazing. Like that's what I hope that you really see that you're showing to the rest of us or the
Mm.
Right.
community with.
We're giving
Thank
you
you.
your flowers from Sister
Yeah.
Soul Sessions.
Yes.
To you,
Thank
congratulations
you. Thank
on
you.
everything. You and your brothers, congratulations on life. And
Thank
keep
you.
going. Never give up.
Yep.
Because it
Man.
can't be them.
When you say that, man, I thought about giving up so many times.
And
Times
we
where
all have. We human.
you know
Right.
what I'm saying?
I
But you
thought
can't.
about giving up yesterday.
I thought about giving up today.
But it's like, yeah, no, all jokes aside, it really is difficult, and we forget that we need people to lean on, and that's kind of what we created this for. We're
Mm,
all striving for this golden, thing or idea. And it's tough to get there. And we wanted to create a place where you can come and we share those stories. We also share, the wins and how you can help each other and things like that. But also moments like this where we get to, like, hey, yeah, I was there, and you may see what this looks like. I was going to ask you about the shirt that you made for suicide awareness, not even knowing how personal it was to you, just seeing it, just like, oh, that looks really cool. So,
yeah.
like you really, like you sharing that really is something that transcends, a brand. And I really do appreciate that because it is very rare, like I said, that we get to see that from our community, from our men, and you upholding that and keeping your brothers together and making sure that you're checking and doing your part, because I am my brother's keeper and you really are doing that. So that
For
is
sure.
amazing.
For sure. No, thank you for saying that. Yeah, the shirt is full of positive affirmations that I would want to tell myself. Like, you are worthy. My life
Yeah.
matters. I'm loved. So, but then it's scattered. The shirt is kind of
Yeah.
scattered like my brain is.
Which it
So,
would be. Yeah.
you know
No,
what
I
I'm
love that.
saying? It's all artistic. Go look at the designs. It's all. I'm a poet
Yes.
at heart, so you feel me. I've been
I
putting
love
poetry
that.
into the design, so I've really enjoyed being able to tell the story and talking to you guys. This has been awesome for real.
And with that, I know we are getting close to the end, and I always like to end with this conversation. And for you in particular, I'd want to know, So if you could give a title to your memoir of your life's journey so far, what would the title be and why?
That's so funny. I started writing a memoir in college, right?
Mm.
But it wasn't like a memoir of my life. So I was very, very big into spoken word and poetry. I was like doing slams and stuff at
Oh,
the time.
awesome.
Like I'm like a poet, a musician. I'm a creator
Mhm.
at heart. And I try to bring that creative into like entrepreneurship because that's also a passion of mine. Um, I started writing. I got my heart broken in college, and I started writing these poems about how I was feeling, my conversations with God,
Mm.
stuff like that. And then I realized that I was in a season called introspection. So, introspection is just the practice of looking into oneself, understanding your own thoughts and your own feelings,
Mm.
healing, growing. Um, so, at that time, the introspection was, what have I like? What was my part in this situation? What part was messed up? Like, how do I feel? And I thought that once I healed, or once I got to the conclusion of it all, which I did, introspection would be over. Excuse
Mm.
me. But then I realized, like, I'm never going to be out of a season of introspection. I'm always going to be in the season of looking into myself, wondering, did I take the right action?
Yeah.
Did I have the right thoughts? Did I spend my life the right way? Um, so I think that my memoir would be introspection, a journey of oneself. And it would be part poetry, it would be part novel. And I probably do some cool stuff and like add some QR codes and make it like part
Right.
music. Like I make beats,
Yeah, I love
like
it.
I
Yeah,
be
I love
making beats and stuff. So you feel me? Like
that.
I make it like an interactive
Hey,
book.
there
Like
is.
it'd
If
be
you
the
like it,
coolest
yeah,
book.
go ahead. Yeah.
So like
I like
anybody
that.
that watches y'all podcast when y'all blow up, don't steal
Right,
my idea. I'm gonna
right. It
come
was
fight
Right.
you.
prepared. Right.
Heard it
But
here
that's
first.
I think
If
that's
we
what my
do, we
memoir will be called.
gonna tag you.
Appreciate
Nice.
you.
No, for sure. No, thank you for sharing. That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
introspection, a journey of oneself, or a journey of myself.
Yeah.
Oh, I think the original title was Introspection, a window to my thoughts, but it's deeper than a window, it's a journey.
Yeah.
So that's a
And
really
Okay.
now that
good
you've gone
question.
to,
I'm gonna start asking people
here
that.
you go.
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm
Oh,
feeling that one. Yeah, I
Don't
stole your
steal
question.
my stuff now.
My bad.
You better tag us.
I
Hashtag
got you. I
Sister
got
Soul
you.
Right.
I got you.
Sessions.
I got you.
and B, if you want to close out.
Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, whether you dropped in and left or stayed to the entire end. Thank you to our special guest, Jason with Goats LLC. And until next time, everybody, thank you again, Jason.
It's
Yes, thank
such
Appreciate
a
you
it.
so
pleasure.
much for the
It's
opportunity. I've thoroughly enjoyed this. You guys are wonderful human beings, and I wish
Thank
you the best
you.
of luck with your podcast.
I truly
Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me. I feel so
Thank
honored.
you.
Thank
We
you.
truly
Thank you so
appreciate it.
much.
Hey, y'all
Good
the goat.
night.
Thank you.
Period.
Thank you. Wonderful night. Thank you for joining us.
Have a great evening.
You
Bye-bye.
the
Bye.
same.
Peace.